Fuck you. I'm really giving y'all free game right now because nobody taught me this before going out and do this. I had to learn this the hard way. All right, y'all, back with another video. So you know how we do it. I always put a couple videos into one. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how I afford my 2022 Dodge Charger Scatpack, and I'm going to be telling you guys how you can too. This video a little longer. We went out a couple nights ago to like a little car meet, so I might add some clips in there if you guys want to see that. If not, skip it. Don't really care. Just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and please comment what you guys want me to do next. If you have any questions on literally anything, let me know down below. I'll be very happy to answer. See you. Also, I just want to add, anything in here you hear me say, I promise is all motivation. So whatever I say, don't take nothing the wrong way. If I say anything that offends you or whatever, I watch these type of videos literally every day, and it did nothing but motivate me. And then I went out there and got it. About to go to a car meet, not necessarily a car meet, but people with cars, and we're finna go meet up. So I guess you call it what you want. But you see, we got the Scat out. She just looks so sexy. Listen to her. My dog Steven just pulled up on me. Just put the LEDs in, you see them. LED lights in, you see them. They look nice. They down there. Steven put up on me. He said he want to go fast tonight, so we finna go do a little something.
What do you mean by that?
So we finna go meet up with my dog Ant, the one that sold me the car. If you watched my previous video, you already knew who that is. But we finna go to his house real quick, and I'll see y'all when we get there. The Chihuahua and a pit bull. You tripping?
Hold on, bitch.
A few moments later.
All right, so how I afford my 2022 Dodge Charger Scatpack. So to start off with, I work for myself. I sell shoes. I say that in every video. I'm gonna put my Instagram somewhere, but I buy, sell, and trade shoes. If you guys need a shoe plug or if you want to sell some shoes to me, whatever, just hit me up. A little backstory. I started off selling CDs in middle school, like how you would burn the CDs before we had like aux cords or Bluetooth or whatever. Then in high school, I started selling used shoes. I like buy, sell, and trade used shoes on Facebook Marketplace. That was really popping back then. Like I'd sell anything I could get my hands on, stuff around the house, friend stuff, garage sale stuff, just literally anything. I would do that. I was making pretty good money for like a high schooler, didn't have a job throughout high school. Some of my friends would see me, like I didn't have a car, so they'd like take me to meet up with people. And I remember on something, one day I made like $500 and he was like, wow, like that's more than my paycheck. It was just crazy because, you know, back then we're still in high school. We can't work that many hours. So that was a lot of money. And before like inflation and everything. But I just kept selling stuff all throughout high school. I did end up going to college for business, but in my business class, everything they were saying I already knew just because I have really been like an entrepreneur forever. Shout out to my mom. She would always like try to teach me about that stuff and just tell me how important it is and all that stuff. But I ended up getting a job at Champs because I really am into shoes, and obviously I sell shoes, so I wanted to know more behind the scenes stuff, like more than just selling shoes. So I really did learn how to talk to customers, what the customer wants. I learned like the computer stuff, and like I said, just the stuff in the back, like the stuff that you wouldn't really know. If I want to run a store one day, working there helped me a lot. I just learned the ins and the outs and stuff. I want to make money. You need to learn how money works. So for me, I was like, oh, the best place that I think to learn how money works, besides like looking it up, is the bank. So I knew like a friend of my girlfriend's, and I ended up getting a job at the bank. They start off at like 18 an hour, which was way more than what I was making at Champs. And I was still doing shoes on the side. Guys, if you guys have a job, please do not quit your side hustles. And if you don't have one, find one. It makes a big difference. So I was working at the bank, worked there for a couple months, learned what I could. After that, shoes really just took off. I started to focus on that way more. I don't know what happened, but shoes just really took off. Since then, I made my business legit and I got an LLC. So technically I work for somebody, but that someone is myself, because if you look up the business, I own it. So I do work for myself, and I can tell you guys, it's not what everyone makes it seem like. To me, it is better than having a job because I don't have to answer to somebody. If I want to go to vacation tomorrow, I can go. I don't have to ask anybody. not downplaying anyone that has a job. If you have a job, that's good for you. If you don't want to have a job and you're thinking about quitting, just try to have a plan backed up. If not, you can just go for it. Don't have a plan. And I promise, usually when that happens, you will find something. When it's like life or death situation, I feel like that's what happens to me. It kind of it really motivates me more too, because I don't have a steady paycheck coming all the time. So I'm like, oh, I need to go find some shoes, or I need to go post these shoes, or I need to go meet up with these people, or I need to go make content. That's just how it is for me, at least. But I just post my shoes on Snapchat, my Instagram stories, and I made a Shopify website. Shout out to Shopify if you guys want to sponsor me. And yeah, that's really all I do. I try to save my money. I really work on my credit. I'm checking my credit like literally every day. That's the most important thing. Even for me, even though I sell shoes, I still try to find like little side hustles. If I can find another way to make money, I will. You can ask my friends. That's what everyone knows me for. Like, my friend will call me and be like, oh, we can go do this and make some money. I'm like, all right, let's go. For example, like, we know someone that owns this moving company. So then on our free days, we'll be like, hey, we're free today to help someone move or whatever. And then he'll give us some money. And it just works like that. So I have my car, I have bills, I have my apartment, I have other bills. You got to pay for food, groceries. I'm doing all that working for myself. I would much rather I make good money, but I'd much rather make less money than making more money at a job, if that makes sense, because time is the most important thing. And I have all my time to myself to do whatever I want. I'm going to be telling you guys how you can afford a Scatpack, Hellcat, or really whatever car you want. So first step is the credit. Your credit matters more than anything. You either need good credit or a really good cosigner. So for me, my credit is good. My credit is in like the 740s. I think at the time it was a 740 something. Credit doesn't matter just by your score. It matters about your credit history. So like, if you have credit cards and stuff for just a couple years, that's not always good enough, because if you want to take out a really big loan for your car or for anything, the bank is going to want to see that you paid off something really big before, and a couple credit cards for a couple years isn't really good enough. So honestly, the best advice is, if you can get a small, cheaper car, like a $5,000 car, $10,000 car, and then pay that off and then try to go get the car you really want, that's the best advice. I didn't do that because the car I had was already paid off, and I just like got it cash. So that really didn't help me. But I do have a couple credit cards that I had forever. I cleaned up my credit. You can also clean up your credit by going on the annualcreditreport.com, checking out your credit, and seeing, sorry, this lighting sucks right now. But you can go on the annualcreditreport.com and basically look at all your stuff and see if there's anything on there. If you have any collections or anything that went to collections, like a certain debt or hospital debt, you can dispute that. I don't know if I'll make a whole nother video doing that, or you can look it up yourself, but that stuff really helps. Clean up your credit. Make all your credit card payments before the due date. If your credit card payment says it's due on the 22nd or whatever, make it on the 14th. A lot of people don't know that the credit reporting agencies, when you make it on your payment due date, it's actually late, because a lot of them report on the 14th, I think. Don't quote me on that, look it up yourself, but just make sure you pay it off in full. If you owe $100 on it and it says, oh, pay $20 by this date, do not pay the $20. Pay the full thing off. Trust me, it helps. So the first thing is your credit. I promise it's not just a 1, 2, 3 that easy, but you can clean up your credit pretty fast in 6 months or less. You can it's not going to be perfect, but you can raise your score a lot. I've seen people go from 500s to 660s within 6 months to a year. A lot of people just don't check their credit. They don't know. But the first thing, if you're young and you don't know what to do, go to your bank, whatever bank you're at, and ask if they have a secured card. So a secured credit card is a credit card that basically is your money, and you're showing the bank that you will be financially responsible and that they can trust you with giving you a credit card with their money on it. So you go there, you start off with like $300 or $500 of your own money. So you give it to your bank. The bank will give you a credit card with however much you gave them, $300 or $500, which again is your money. You go spend it on whatever you want, and make sure you pay it off before the due date. And then after, I believe, let's just say 6 months or something, you can go and ask them if they can now give you a card, if they can now give you a card with their money, and they'll give you your money back. So it's kind of like you saved money, kind of, because you went all these months without being able to use this money, like cash in your pocket or whatever. But That's what a lot of people do, and I promise it will raise your score super fast. I seen it myself. My girlfriend did it. That was like her first card, and her score is now like almost a 750, if not a 750. It really helps. And the sun is going down right now, so if you guys keep seeing the sun change, I'm sorry. The lighting, it sucks. It just keeps moving. But the next thing is a down payment. Depending on how much your car is, you really need a down payment. I see a lot of people going and getting these cars, putting 10,000 down, 20,000 down, 30,000 down, 40,000 down. I'm not the type of person to do that. I like to keep my money in my pocket and invest it in other things that bring me back money. Hopefully this car is an investment. I am using it to try to make videos and profit off it, and I really love this car. And they stopped making them, and they're going up in price and value, so hopefully I can profit off it somehow. But for me, I only put a couple thousand down. Now, the good thing about putting a lot of money down is your car payments will be way cheaper, and then you will owe less on your loan. So the bank is most likely going to say yes, because they don't have to give you as much money. What the banks want to see is money going in your account. Honestly, they don't really care what comes out the account, but a tip that I also learned from them, they don't really care what's coming out your account. They want to see what's coming in. So luckily for me, this is a little personal. I really don't talk about my personal money or finances and stuff, but for me with the business and everything, there is a lot of money that goes in my account. It's not all profit, but there is a lot of money that goes in my account. So when the bank seen that, they were like, whoa, like he's making 6 figures, not all profit. They're like, whoa, he's making 6 figures, but going through my account, that's what they see. So like, oh, he's making all this money, he has decent credit, whatever, yeah, I'm going to approve him. That's just how it works. So if someone pays you with cash, they told me that at the end of the month, like let's say your car payment is going to be $600. At the end of the month, no matter how much you spent, as long as there's $600 in your account, that counts. So obviously you can try to do the math. They have payment calculators online. Those are not always accurate because again, it goes off your credit and down payment and everything. But let's say you know it's a really expensive car, your payment is going to be $800. Try at the end of the month to always have at least $1,200 in there for at least 3 months, so then the bank can see that and trust you. Obviously you should have you should have more than that, but whatever. And you guys can make money anyway these days. Like, I know jobs I guess don't pay a lot, but if you really want the car, if you really want anything, you will work hard to get it. I promise. That's just how it is. If you guys want it bad enough, you'll do it no matter what. If you have to get 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever. But these cars are super expensive, so please do not go broke trying to get one. I've been wanting this car for 3 years, and this year was the last production year, I guess. Like starting 2024, they're not making them anymore, or at least these exact models. So I was like, I really think it's time to pull the trigger. I did start posting on this YouTube channel again. I did start a couple channel with my girlfriend. I'll post that too. But for the cosigner part, if you guys don't know what a cosigner is, let's say you're 18, 19, 20, 21, however old you are, to the dealership because you want to get a car, right? But you don't have a lot of money to put down and you don't really have good credit. The bank does not trust you. They're not going to give you that loan. So basically you need a cosigner, somebody to cosign, saying that, hey, if he doesn't make these payments, basically I will, or I can vouch for him. And they need to have really good credit. So you get your mom, grandma, dad, whatever you have, a friend that has really good credit, just whoever, and they come cosign for you. Be very careful, because if you do not make your payments, it will fall back on them. Also, the con to having somebody cosign for you is your credit isn't going to go up as fast, because the way, don't quote me again, but the way I think it works is they're like the main person on paper or something. I heard when I was at the dealership, that's what they were telling me. Basically, your credit won't go up as fast. If you just like nip it in the bud and do it yourself, just put down the big payment or just make the big car payments every month for 6 months to refinance, your credit will shoot up way faster, I promise. I got my Mercedes. That was my first car on paper. I made those payments. My score went up almost instantly, like after a month. So just keep doing that. Just keep making your payment. Other option is to have obviously a car already that you want to trade in, and you can use that as your down payment. You can go on Kelley Blue Book. There's a couple other websites, I forget the name, but you can see the value of your car. So let's say your trading value is $10,000. You want to go get a Scatpack, it's $50,000, $60,000. You now have a trade-in vehicle worth $10,000. So 10,000 minus that 50,000 is now $40,000. So now the bank would obviously much rather give you 40,000 than 50. And then if you have a down payment of, let's say $10,000, now you only owe what, 30,000, 35,000. The bank is definitely going to approve you, most likely, if you have at least decent credit. Guys, please also do not let all these people run your credit. If you are going car shopping, I think it's like within 2 days or a month or something. Try to do it all at one time. Like if you're asking multiple banks, try to do it all in the same day if you can. Do not go to a million banks after a week, after a month, because your score will drop. After they run your credit, your score drops a couple points, but it does go back up like pretty shortly. It doesn't take too long. But if you wait after a month, it's going to be like another redrop, basically. I am really into my credit, so I called the credit bureau. I think it was Equifax that told me that. And they were saying for auto loans and home loans to try to do it all within the same month, just as soon as possible. Like, try not to space it out. So that's another tip. One of the most important things is try to know your credit before you go up there. You can know your credit by downloading the Credit Karma app and Experian app. For me, I prefer Experian because they tell you way more than Credit Karma does, and to me it's been way more accurate. Go download that, and then just say, I am not a credit guru. This is just from my experience and what I personally have learned. Do not take everything I say for 100%, or say, oh, go to the dealership and say, oh, well, Nate told me this, it should work. No, don't do that. Every single person's credit is different, I promise. I learned that. My credit might be a 740 and I get denied for something, and then someone else might go with a 680 and get approved just because they have way more credit history than me, if that makes sense. They could have paid off a car, they could have paid off 2 cars, they could have had way more credit cards for 10 years versus me having them for a couple years. But the number one thing is your credit. If you do want to build your credit though, another thing you can do is ask your parents or whoever you know that has good credit to put you as an authorized user on their credit cards. So basically, let's say they have a credit card with a $10,000 limit with Capital One or whoever they have. They put you as an authorized user. That now reports on your credit report saying that you have a $10,000 credit card. So as long as you trust them to make their payments and everything, you don't even have to spend it, because most of the time they send you a card with your name on it, but you can just give it to your parents or whatever. You don't have to use it. Basically, just tell them to put you as an authorized user and you don't even have to touch the money. That'll just help your credit. A lot of people don't know that. I don't know why. They don't teach us that in school and all that, but that is the number one trick, and there has zero effect to your parents or whoever is putting you as the authorized user unless they hand you that card and you go spend it and not pay it back. But other than that, it does nothing but help you. Also, if you do want a car and you don't really know where to go, yes, you can go to the dealership and obviously finance it through them, but the best thing to do is go to a credit union. There's Achieva, there's Suncoast Credit Union, there's a whole bunch of credit unions I'm not going to name, but they have the cheapest interest rates. So again, make sure your credit and down payment, just make sure you have the best that you can provide at the time, and then go to a credit union and apply. If you can't do that, if you go apply and they deny you or whatever, don't really worry about it. Just, if the last option is going to the car dealership and financing it through them, just do that. And then after 6 months to a year, make all your payments on time. I make mine a couple days before, but after 6 months to a year, then you could try to go back to that credit union and they're going to be like, wow, he or she, they've been making these payments for 6 months to a year. They pay them on time, they pay them early, especially if it's a high payment, then they'll trust you. And I've seen people get their payments cut in half. Like, their payment will be $800. They go to a credit union after 6 months to a year and they refinance it, and now their payment's $400 or $300. It really is crazy. It's just a lot of tips and tricks that people don't know. Like, they don't teach you this, or people just don't care to know, I guess. I don't know. But if you could save money, why not? But to go over it one more time, the first thing is your credit. Credit is number one. Second thing is a down payment. Try to get as much money as you can to put down. Third thing is, if you don't have a lot of money to put down and you don't have any credit, get a cosigner. The fourth thing is try to get with the credit union. If you can't, then just go to the car dealership. And then the fifth thing is money management. If you can do all these things, I promise you'll get the car, no problem. Again, if you have any questions, please ask me, because I do want to help you guys, because I was in the position where I was just watching video after video after video, looking up questions, just trying to ask dealerships questions and stuff that people really don't know. So I want to be that for you guys, and I want to help you guys. So separate yourself from the rest. Go out there and do what you want. If you want to make YouTube videos, if you want to make TikToks, if you want to make ASMRs, if you want to be a garbage man, go do whatever you want to do that will get the bills paid or that makes you happy. If you can find something that pays the bills and makes you happy, that's a plus. Another thing is, don't really listen to anybody. If you want something that you want, go out and get it. If you think it can work for you, then obviously go do it. But again, do not try to go broke trying to get one of these cars. They are super expensive. The other day, my gas light wasn't even on yet. I went to fill it up and it was $70. That's crazy. But then again, for me, I drive a lot more than people because I don't go exactly to a job every day and then sit for hours. So my job requires me to drive around everywhere. The wheels are super expensive. The gas is super expensive. Just basically everything about this car is expensive. If you do want to get one of these cars, I really recommend that you just basically get a brand new one, because for me, it came with warranties. Everything's on the warranty. So if I mess something up, engine blows up, warranty. Tires, I need new tires, warranty. So there's just a lot of pros and cons and stuff. If you really want something like this, study it. I promise, for literally years, like every single day I'm watching YouTube videos, TikToks, I'm looking stuff up about the car. Like I wanted to know the ins and out of everything. And that's how you have to be. You do not want to go buy a car, drive it off the lot because it depreciates immediately, and then something be wrong with it and you don't have a warranty, you can't cover it. Now you got to go pay $1,000 because this blew or this messed up. Like, you really don't want to do that. Also, these cars get stolen and broken into a lot. I'm gonna make another video about the kind of anti-theft devices that I have installed so far. I'm gonna get some more, but that'll be for another video. But like I was saying before, if you really want one of these cars, or any car matter, and your parents are telling you no, your girlfriend's telling you no, your boyfriend's telling you no, your friends are saying, oh, I don't think it's a good idea, oh, that's ugly. Forget whatever they're saying. Do whatever you want to do. You only live once. I promise it'll be worth it. When I got this car after waiting all those years, it felt so amazing. You know how everyone says, just wait your turn, wait your turn. It's true. Like, you might see all these rappers, you might see people on Snapchat, you might see people on Instagram with all this stuff. Everything is not what it seems. That's just what they want you to see, what they post on social media. I promise everyone's life isn't as amazing as it seems. But if you want it, go out and work for it, go get it, and just basically don't let no one stop you. If you want to be a content creator, go create content. I heard this quote: a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers isn't going to laugh at you for making your first video. And I promise all the people laughing most likely are not doing anything. I know it's kind of weird. Like, it's even weird for me right now to be in front of this camera and then post it on social media knowing that people I know are going to see it. For me, that is really weird, because in person, I kind of am like an introvert if I don't know you. And then, you know, I'm like more out there with my friends and stuff, but I don't know who you are. I don't know who's watching me right now. So that's super weird, but I'm just doing it because why not? You only live once. You get paid from this. You never know who you can run into. Someone might see my car one day and be like, oh, he's into cars, like, you know, let's go talk. And he might take me somewhere that I wouldn't have been able to go unless I met him, if that makes sense. So far, almost every single day that I've had this car, people have pulled up, rolled down their window, said they like the car, they like the paint job, or whatever. You never know who you can meet, and that can really put you in the next spot. I don't think people really know how much, like, working for 6 months to a year on yourself, even a month of just straight grinding on yourself, don't worry about nothing, stop going out, stop buying fast food, stop doing all that, just focus on whatever you want to do, focus on making money, and just stay to yourself. You will get way farther than a lot of people, because a lot of people right now just don't have that drive. It got to the point where I was like, I cannot watch another one of these videos and not have one. It was just that bad. I feel like that's just how it is. Like, stuff like this, you're going to look at that car and it's going to motivate you to go out there and make some more money, because you're like, oh dang, I got to pay for this gas, I got to pay for the brakes, the tires, the car payment, whatever. And that should motivate you and make you get up and go get some money. So don't always look at this like a negative thing, if that makes sense, because you never know what can happen. Stuff like this will change you. And for me, honestly, I don't know what it was. When I moved out from my mom's house and got my own place with my girlfriend, I started making way more money. Don't know how. And then I feel like when I got my first car, I made like decently a little more money. And then hopefully with this car, I'm gonna make more money. I don't know how, but hopefully it comes from these videos or something. So another thing and another way to help is money management. To me, I always tell people to go make more money, and like not always, oh, I don't want to get this Starbucks coffee because I got to make my car payment or whatever. If that's a problem, if you have to do that, then obviously that's a problem. To me, I always say go make more money, so then you can buy whatever you want. If you want to go buy 10 Starbucks drinks, go do it. You just need to make more money. That's how I feel like you should think of it. And when you think of something like, oh, I can't buy this because I got to go make this, I feel like that's the wrong way to think. Just think, go make more money. Thank you guys for watching the video. Again, if you have any comments, please drop them down below. If you have any questions or whatever, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you next time.